Real people, real opinions.
Real Talk Radio. The multi-award winning Niall Boylan Show.
Ireland's classic hits.
We're always kind of looking to make our lives a little bit better on this show. Always up for a bit of self-improvement. And what better way to do that than become our best selves and then talk to a life coach? And Sarah-Kate McConnell is an international life coach and a law of attraction coach. The idea that we can attract what we want into our life, but how we think is a fascinating one. And you may remember recently we had a lady on who attracted a winning lottery ticket into her life. She was American, and she had won the Powerball, or whatever you call it, which is like 100 million. And her attitude was quite odd, actually. The way she said, I wasn't surprised. No, I knew I was going to win it. That she knew she was going to win it because she had willed it into her life. That she kept focusing, she said, on this house that she had seen and a car that she wanted. And she said, I just kept focusing on those things, my little storyboard, and eventually I got it. And that would be very handy if we could all do that. So Sarah-Kate joins me on the line to hopefully share with us how we can all attract things into our life and become better people. Sarah, good evening to you.
Good evening. How are you?
Now, I don't know if we could all win the lottery by the end of this conversation or not. It would be nice. It would be nice, but unfortunately we can't all win it. Only one of us can. But speaking of that lady from Chicago that I spoke to that won the Powerball, $100 and something million, and she kept saying to us, I always knew I was going to win it because I kind of brought it into my own life, the law of attraction she talked about as well. Is that true? Do we will things into our lives?
Yes, very much so. What we focus on and think about can come to us, very much so.
Yeah, that's not a kind of magical thing. It's just because we're being positive about it, I suppose, is it?
Yes, well, the law of attraction is all about bringing to you what you emanate. So like attracts like, and by focusing on the positive or negative about a situation, you can bring more of that to you. Mm-hmm. So when you focus on certain things, you bring them more into your life.
And when clients come to you, for example, on a regular basis, people would come to you, obviously, as a life coach in general. What is usually the problem in their life? Is it that things are not going too well for them? Is it just that they just want to boost their own self-confidence and self-image or whatever it is? What is the reason they're coming to you?
So I have a range of clients that come to me. A lot of my life coaching is moms that come to me who are just feeling a little bit lost and overwhelmed by motherhood. And it's very common for mothers to kind of lose themselves, their sense of self, and they just want to find themselves again and get back to figuring out what they want out of their lives and to get that balance. And then I have clients come to me specifically because they want to do more in their lives and they want to be motivated and learn about the law of attraction and how they can utilize that. And then I also have clients come to me for business mindset coaching. So I work with a lot of entrepreneurs to help them with their business mindset and get their business to where they want to be.
And I suppose it's trying to get that greater sense of life balance, because we all struggle with the life balance, with work, with play, with success, whatever it is. We all kind of struggle to get that balance right, don't we?
Definitely. And in this day and age, unfortunately, there's such an emphasis on celebrating people being busy. And the busyness of people's lives is getting more and more extreme. And the feeling that they need to be doing so much of everything that they just get themselves into that burnout stage. And it's making sure that you are still looking after yourself and doing all those things and finding the balance and figuring out what you may be doing that you might need to be doing that's not actually serving you, but you're doing it because, it might sound good or you feel like you have to do it and there's that pressure. So we look at everything and figure out what really isn't working and where we can get that balance within that.
And in relation to the law of attraction, right? I mean, I know you do a course, in how to kind of, to help clients to manifest a dream within 8 weeks. So it says here, within my 8-week Become a Conscious Creator course. So if I was to say, I want to be more successful, or I want to own a Ferrari and have a nice big house and be financially successful as well as, achieve a lot. How do you recommend that I do that? If it was me, for example, you were talking to, how do you recommend I do that?
So it's about learning the principles of the law of attraction. So my advice is to approach it with an open mind and be patient with the process. So by starting setting clear and specific goals and then work on cultivating them with your positive mindset, practicing gratitude daily, visualizing your success, and be mindful of your own thoughts and how you are feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And then consistency is key. So sticking with it even when you're faced with challenges and enhancing that belief that it will come and having the faith. And if you find it getting overwhelming to seeking guidance, either from a coach or from available resources such as books or online materials, there's podcasts, there's YouTube channels, there's so much that can, when you
And
focus
I suppose
on that,
not
it brings
everything
you
works
back.
for everybody. Everybody's a little bit different, and certain things work better for, some people might get more out of a podcast or a YouTube video than they get out of a book, or they might get more from you than they get from somebody else. Or I suppose everybody's is that little bit different. And I suppose, the law of attraction can also help with relationships too, because some people draw negativity into their relationships, or they have bad relationships one after the other. I know people who have been in and out of so many relationships. And I know they're not bad people, but they're just not good at relationships, maybe. So I suppose you can, or maybe it's just not the right person for them every single time. I mean, the law of attraction helps you with that as well, I imagine, to get the right person.
Yes, definitely. And really looking within yourself at why are you attracting those people into your life. And oftentimes we keep getting brought the same test from the universe until we learn the lesson. So if we keep being presented with the same type of person, whether it's in a romantic relationship, in a workplace, with friendships, and we're constantly getting these same negative experiences, there's something to be learned there. And until we ask what it is we need to learn and get to the bottom of it and let go of our thought patterns that are creating that for us, then it's going to keep coming back into our lives.
Mm-hmm. Now, you're already doing a podcast, but I know you're kind of rebranding yourself.
Well, no, I haven't started the podcast yet, so I'm going to be starting a podcast.
Oh, you're launching it. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's going to be called the Lucky Irish Podcast. So are we lucky, by the way, us Irish? Are we just good at the law of attraction?
I think that the Irish have such a strong, what's the right word? We are well known around the world for being lucky, and we have so many lucky symbols in our life. And I think we can be very lucky when we have the right mindset, but we all know also people that are just constantly one thing after the other, everything goes wrong. So I wouldn't say every Irish person is a lucky person.
We're either one or the other. We either have bad luck or good luck. We don't seem to stick in the middle somewhere, do we?
Well, we can do, but I believe that we can become lucky by finding out more about the principles of the law of attraction and doing the personal development work. And that's what I want to bring to the table with my podcast, is to help people see that.
So basically going to give them, I suppose, lessons of life, or lessons for life, really, isn't it? Guidelines for life.
Yes. So I'll be talking all about the law of attraction principles and personal development, positive psychology, mindset work, and also bringing in stories of my own life and my clients and all of that, so that people can see how it has been working.
Have you used the law of attraction yourself, Sarah? Have you been lucky?
Yes. My brother calls me very jammy.
Yeah, that's a real Irish word to say, isn't it? Yeah, jammy.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I think one of my biggest things is, not that it was a huge thing, but it was just a series of events within a week. So I went for a holiday to Fuerteventura last January with a friend, and it was my first time being child-free for more than 2 days
Okay.
in like 6.5 years. And we went and we had an amazing time, but I spent all my money. And when I came back to the airport, I had lost my phone, and I got into my car and I pulled out of the car parking space and my brakes didn't work. So
Oh, no.
thankfully it was Shannon Airport in January and it was very dead. So I was able to safely get my car back into a parking space, and I had my laptop. So thankfully I was able to Facebook call my sister who was minding my daughter, and she came and picked me up. And instead of getting into that place of really like everything's going wrong, I just kept thinking, oh, thank God I had my laptop, and I kept getting into the place of gratitude. And within a week, I had the brand new pink, or not brand new, but brand new for me, pink car that I had been wanting. I got a new phone, I got a new smart TV, and I got a new smartwatch, and I didn't pay a penny. I manifested it all. So
And when you say you didn't pay a penny, where did they come from?
it was all different people that had come into my life that through a series of events were wanting to give me things. So
Kind of felt
some
sorry for
were-
you.
No. Some were like belated Christmas presents that I
Oh, okay.
hadn't seen, or people that I'd really helped that had come into money. And it was all very unexpected.
All within the space of a week.
Yes,
It's mad.
yes. But all
Yeah.
of these things were things that I'd been working on manifesting since December. So I knew was working on getting all these things, but none of them yet.
And if you were to recommend for listeners listening now to do one thing every day in relation to the law of attraction to bring success or bring happiness into their life, what would that one thing be?
Gratitude. So gratitude is the most simplest tool that can uplift your mood in an instant. So I often tell a story. I used to childmind, and I could suffer on and off with anxiety, and I woke up one day and I had huge anxiety and I really wasn't feeling well. And as I was walking to get my phone to call the parents to let them know I wouldn't be able to childmind that day, I passed my gratitude jar. And I stopped at the gratitude jar, and I have like little stones that myself and my daughter painted. So I picked up a stone and I held it and I thought about something I was grateful for. And I did that 10 times. And afterwards I felt amazing, and I ended up having a wonderful day with the kids. So
Right,
it
okay,
can
so
really,
gratitude.
really it can really, really change. And the more you're grateful for things, the more you will have to be grateful for. Like when your bills come in, that's an opportunity to be grateful because you're getting provided with electricity, you're getting provided with whatever our bills are for, like internet or whatever. And people can feel so stressed out when the bills come, because obviously things can be very tight, especially at the time we are in right now with the cost of living. But if you can take a moment to think about what that bill has given you, that can really help to uplift it and help more money to come in to help with those bills.
Somebody just texted and said, Niall, could you ask that lady, is there a way to stop being unlucky? And does a person constantly being worried bad things are going to happen to them in some way make them happen, almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy? In other words, yeah, if you're kind of feeling negative about things all the time, like the week you had, obviously, away in Portaventura, and when you came back and crashed the car and all that kind of stuff, if you were kind of thinking negatively about that and thinking, I'm just an unlucky person, are you going to continue to be unlucky, in other words?
Well, I think had I been feeling that, I wouldn't have received what I did, because I wouldn't have been at the right vibration to receive all of those things. And Walt Disney has a quote that says, worry is a misuse of imagination. So when we are worrying, it's really important to remind ourselves that what we're worrying about does not exist. So what I say to my clients and to myself and to my daughter is, when we catch ourselves worrying about something, ask ourselves, is this true? Has this happened? And if the answer is no, then to spend some time thinking about what we would like to happen instead. And
But I suppose
daydream
some
on that.
worries are real, aren't they? Because people might have financial worries, or somebody's worried about a loved one's health or whatever it is. So some worries are genuinely worries that people, so they're not all not real. They are. Some of them are real worries, aren't they?
Yes, of course. There's very much day-to-day worries in life. But the more we worry and focus on the negative outcome, the more likely we will get that negative outcome. And if we can stop ourselves worrying about our bills. So, for example, I was talking to a client a couple of days ago who was stressed out about getting the money for paying for certain things. And I asked her, have you always managed before? Does the money always come? Does everything work out? And she said, yes. So I said, that's what you need to be focusing on. I always figure it out. It always comes. It's going to be okay. So to get your focus onto that there's always a way that it gets sorted.
Well, I have to say, it sounds interesting, the law of attraction, and also improving your life in any shape or form. And I'm sure people could find you if they look on the internet, Sarah-Kate McConnell. And your podcast
Sarah-Kate
kicks off.
Life Coach.
Oh, Sarah-Kate Life Coach. And
Yeah.
when does your podcast kick off?
So that's going to be coming out on October 30th, so Monday the 30th of October, and it'll be coming out weekly on Spotify. And then once in a couple of weeks, once my brand designer and web designer sort everything out for me, my business name will be changing from Sarah-Kate Life Coach to Lucky Irish. So right now I'm sarahkatelifecoach.com, but I will be luckyirish.ie very soon.
All right. Well, look, the best of luck with the podcast, and I hope it goes very well for you. It's a difficult task at the moment. There's many podcasts out there, but I'm sure you will do well, and I'm sure it'll do well because people always want to improve their lives somewhat. Sarah-Kate, listen, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Real people, real opinions.
Real Talk Radio, the multi-award winning Niall Boylan Show.